welcome once again to The Sage. As usual, I'm Dr. Kechi Obuago, your guide, your companion on this wonderful journey. Let me thank you, all of you out there, for this particular journey. For me, it's a walk down memory lane. It's my opportunity to relive my life. Our topic today, I am passionately attached to, because it is, in a way, the story of my own life. Today, I bring an issue before you that I have lived, but one also that I am so proud of. I bring a profession before you that is so vital, that provides such great service to our world. Or tragically, it takes a global tragedy, a national tragedy, a community tragedy, before many of us look around at the people that are oftentimes an everyday part of our lives and then realize that they're such heroes, they're such wonderful parts of our lives. This global pandemic has made that reality so evident. The world has come together as no other time before to realize that doctors and health workers are heroes, really. Heroes every day in action. Every day they get up and go to work, they put their lives at risk for all of us. Yes, today we all are claiming them as frontline workers, as heroes. They are, and they have always been. So today, we're looking at them, but particularly a special breed of healthcare workers, of doctors, women doctors. I am very proud to say I belong to that group. I'm partial to them. And so it is with pride that I bring them to you. Women doctors are indeed a special breed. Medicine is a male-dominated profession. It is one of the toughest in the world. And so a woman that ventures into that career faces double challenges of gender, everything, of discrimination, because that is part of our world. But also, you have to be made of sterner stuff to survive both the training and the practice. But I shall zero in particular to the young women doctors. When I say medicine is tough, when I say it is even tougher for women, let me say it is toughest for the young woman doctor. Stay with me and meet two wonderful women doctors who have graciously accepted to be with us today in the studio. Please look at them and listen to them as the heroes they are. They are indispensable to our health and well-being. Stay with us. I'll unveil our treasures in the next segment. Thank you for being with us. Welcome once again to The Sage. Thank you for being with us. We assure you it's going to be well worth it. Please join me in welcoming two remarkable young women. I call them all young. I know one of them will try to object, but before me, she's young. Two remarkable young doctors, Dr. Oseji. Hello. And Dr. Vivian Emwindaru.
Hello.
I have said it, but don't worry. I practice it. Let me show you that I really know how to say it. Emwindaru.
Yes.
Thank you for being with me on the show.
It's my pleasure.
I know it took some doing. Dr. Mini had to come all the way from Delta State just to be in the show. And Vivian had to leave her busy schedule to be here. But it is worth it. You are a remarkable breed of human beings, as I had said before in the earlier segment. And so it's a gift to me, to the show, and to everybody else listening to us, to have you here, to talk to us, to share your life, to share your stories. Let me start with Mini, who actually is the permanent secretary of in Delta State. She was permanent secretary of health. She tells me just before the show she's abandoned us in health and moved to environment. But more importantly, perhaps, is the fact that she's the national president of the Medical Women Association of Nigeria. A remarkable lady, very, very hardworking, as I have found, much to my, shall I say, detriment. Because when Winnie takes on a task, she will see it to perfection, and you will not rest till you deliver your aspect of it. But we are privileged in the Medical Women Association to have her as national president. And so she will tell us about that association. She will tell us about women doctors in Nigeria and perhaps a bit elsewhere, so that it provides context to what we're doing. But of course, I can never resist when I talk to my guests without talking to a young person, a really young person. Minnie is young, even though she likes to think she's not, but to a truly, truly young woman doctor, to Vivian, who will tell us what life as a young woman doctor is like. So thank you both of you for being here again.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for agreeing to share your story and your time. Let's start with you, Minnie. Tell us more about you, your own personal journey as a doctor, your journey as the president of the Medical Women Association of Nigeria, everything really,
Thank you so much, Dr. Katie Obago. I really feel honored to be here on your show. I've watched several episodes of your show and I love the show so much, and it's really an honor to be participating in the show. Well, for the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, this is a 44-year-old association founded in Nigeria in 1977. So we have been active in at the international level, we've been active at the national level, we've been active at state levels. And so we are affiliated to the Medical Women's International Association that was founded in 1999. Sorry, in 1919. Thank you, 1919.
Remember, I'm a member,
yes.
So yeah.
So in 2019 we celebrated our centenary program, and that was also in New York. So right now in the year 2021 we are 102 years old. So MWAN, that's short for Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, is actually an affiliate of MWIA, the Medical Women's International Association. And we are also an affiliate of the Nigerian Medical Association. That's the umbrella association for all medical doctors in Nigeria. Our programs are focused on fulfilling Sustainable Development Goal 3, well-being, and 5, gender equality. We also look at the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, and other things that we could do to promote the health of women and children. We have a motto which says, healing with the love of a mother. And that is because as a medical woman, you don't just treat a lot of people, you sometimes are the patients. particularly in terms of motherhood. So he who feels it knows it. And so it's that experience that you use to care for patients with the love of a mother. Now, for the Young Doctors Forum, it was an international thing that started in 2007 when it appeared that young doctors...
Let me stop you there and say I'm itching to hear that about the young women. You know, I'm partial to them.
Yes.
But before you go on to that, why do women doctors need an association?
Oh, I get that question a lot. Women doctors need an association because women's needs are peculiar, and the umbrella association for medical doctors do not deal with many of those needs. True to form, disease doesn't know gender. So if you have a child with severe meningitis, the meningitis will not say, oh, I'm not going to be severe because you're a woman, and so I'm going to try to be as mild as possible because I know it's a woman that is treating me. It's going to be fulminant. It could take the life of the child. It could be life-threatening. So whether it is a male doctor or a female doctor that is treating that patient, the best skill that is required to be able to make sure that that patient has a good outcome is expected of whether you are a male or female doctor. So as a female doctor, you're going to write all the exams the same way the male doctors are going to write. You're going to do all the various programs and so on, postings, the postgraduate programs, everything to get to that level where you are qualified, certified to provide care at every level, whether it is general care or specialist care to the patients that you're seeing. However, it doesn't stop the woman from being a woman, and she has peculiar needs that are not usually addressed. And that is where the Medical Women's Association comes in. It allows us to mentor and be mentored. Particularly myself, I have been mentored by many medical women that were older than me as I was a young doctor, watching them, seeing how they coped with the challenges, and that inspired me to give me the courage that I could also do it and get to that level. You were one of my mentors too. I looked at what you were doing at the international scene and I said, wow, I would love to do that. And I have been able to do that because
thank you.
As national president, I have co-chaired the Congress for the International Association near Eastern African region, which is what you did about 21 years ago. If I
Don't tell them I'm that old.
If I hadn't watched you in 2000 doing it, I would probably not know what to do now. So that's the beauty of the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, an opportunity to mentor. And the mentorship takes place in so many ways. It could be mentorship in research, it could be mentorship in service delivery, writing proposals, doing advocacy, creating awareness, mentorship in even how you manage your home. So I've had medical women talk about how they cope with their home, and I say, wow, note to self, I have to remember to do this when I get home and all that. So that is the beautiful thing. And then it's also an opportunity for sorority, friendship, foster friendship. And so by the time you get into leadership positions, you fall back on all your experiences, what you've been doing in all the activities of the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria. So that's why we need such an association.
Absolutely. Tell them. Well, so well said, Minnie. Thank you so much. Because like you said, it's a question I've often had to answer, many times in my own life too. And it was beautifully elaborated by Minnie. Yes, we do need an association for women doctors because we are a special breed with special needs. But I also think we make up for it by the kind of care we give. Absolutely. Thank you. Before I turn to Vivian, I'm going to give you one last chance to tell us, you've been for about, I think, 1.5 years now, the national president. For you, as the national president of the association, what have been your joys and your sorrows? What do you think are your major achievements?
Well, I have been working with young people for a very long time. I'm focusing on the young people now because of the context. And I had a non-governmental organization since 2002, Public Health Impact Research Center. And we had the Young People's Club or the Youth Club. And that was because the UNFPA-sponsored program called NINETA, National Youth Network for Nigerian youths working in HIV/AIDS. they said you must have, if you're an NGO working with UNFPA, you must have a youth club, or they wanted youth clubs to be there, youth focused organizations. So we set up youth club and started working with young people in schools, out of school, in school, and so on and all that. Wherever they were, young people, we used to have programs. So we go to schools and talk about how to prevent HIV/AIDS, go to young people's groups, gather them together, those that were out of school, and we have programs for them. So I had that opportunity to mentor a lot of young people, and the results were astonishing.
Okay.
They were getting better results than even the adult members of the organization. So I had all that experience for several years to bear. So by the time I came to become the president of the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria in September 2012, I had a very clear-cut agenda for the young people. Incidentally, I also campaigned with a special video on what I wanted to achieve for the young people, because I saw the impact I had with young people. And we have a very dynamic young doctors coordinator for my tenure. Her name is Dr. Evonemo Esevuaje, and she happens.
What is a doctor's coordinator?
Young doctors coordinator. She is the young doctors coordinator for this biennium, and she incidentally was the Delta State Medical Woman of the Year for the year 2019.
Okay.
So she's very vibrant, very ICT compliant, and very innovative. And so we were able to start on several programs for the young doctors. We started with the International Day of the Girl Child, done in 3 states, Oyo State, FCT, and Delta State. Then we had a webinar on ethics. So the Young Doctors Forum, they have a WhatsApp group. And I had to join the WhatsApp group immediately I became president, so that I could be in line with what they were doing. And there were discussions on challenges they were having with ethical issues. Okay. So the first thing we did was to have a webinar on medical ethics. So we had a professor who is also a barrister, Professor Oseji, who is also a barrister, Professor Sime, and he was one of the facilitators. And I gave them some insights as to the research I had done in the area of medical ethics when I did my master's in the University of Sheffield, and they were so appreciative. Okay. So the next thing we did was working on economic empowerment programs to let them know that there are many areas you can make money in medicine. So it's not just you must treat a patient and you must prescribe drugs or you must do surgery before. There are so many aspects, and that there are many paths to success. So the economic empowerment programs have helped many of them to broaden their horizon, and this culminated in a webinar on planning your future. A lot of young doctors want to emigrate. They needed to know exactly what was out there for them if they chose to emigrate. And then some want to just go out, see what is out, and come back. So we're able to tell them about maximizing the benefits of a foreign education if they choose to have that. And then most recently, we had a program with the National Association of Resident Doctors. Many of them are also young doctors, because we found out that the women were now getting a better deal and were leaving the male doctors who were residents out. And so we had a program on economic empowerment of young doctors, and it was also very, very wonderful. So that's what we've been doing with the young doctors.
And I love that. I love that bit, because I always say that unless you're economically empowered, there's no empowerment. There's no way you can claim any rights or exercise them if you don't have the economic empowerment to do so. So that's a beautiful note for us to take a break. And when we come back, to turn to Vivian, a young doctor here, and ask her what her own journey as a young woman doctor has been. So stay with us. We'll soon be back in the next segment. Thank you. Welcome once again to the stage, and thank you for having been with us. I have come to a very exciting part of this show. In the last segment, we talked to Dr. Mini. Exciting information on what the Medical Women Association is doing. And we're now going to move on to our young doctor, perhaps a granddaughter.
Thank you.
But at least a daughter. Definitely a daughter. To Dr. Vivian. And as we focus on young women doctors in this show, to tell us For you, what has been the journey? What's it been like?
Thank you very much. I really want to appreciate you for the effort so far. Actually, when my national president called me up last night to talk to me about this, I was like, wow, it's interesting. So we have people like this who have been on this ship mentoring us, and we've not been able to partake fully in this. And she was like, yes, I want you to know what's going on. The journey as a young medical doctor has been an uphill task. It's not been so rosy. It's easy for people to come into the hospital and see a young lady wearing a ward coat attending to them. And some even say, oh, that baby doctor. Because you're not a man, you don't have a mustache, you're not huge, and all of that. Like you rightly said, we have been the endangered species here in this field because you have so many contemporaries. And my personal journey, it wouldn't be complete without linking it to the Medical Women Association of Nigeria, especially the FCT chapter. Medical women has been a breeding ground, and it's so unfortunate that a lot of young female doctors out there, they are not as interested as our previous mentors will want us to be. I use that word because if you know what you can gain from an association, you would not be left in the dark. I was in the dark for a long time. You
don't make the same mistakes twice.
Yes, you learn. Like, I came into MWAN in 2015 from the president then, when MWAN FCT was Dr. Eno Eko. And she was like, oh, let's just go. There's this meeting. They take care of young ladies. They're interested in what you want to do as a female doctor. And I was like, seriously? Because when you leave school, you are just stranded. You don't know what you want to do next. Do you want to go into residency? Do you want to just do GP? You don't really know the next line of action. And I went with her to the meeting, and lo and behold, I saw a lot of female doctors, well-to-do in the profession. They've gone far in the field, but they still had time for sacrifice, time to mentor you, time to bring you home, time to show you the path to follow. And that was how I started. So going there, I saw a lot of opportunities. You hear them talking about grants, you hear them talking about scholarship programs, you hear them talking about what to do as a mother, as a wife, as a single lady. These are things that a lot of us find difficult to align as work. It's very difficult to bring all this together. And that has been the journey so far with them. And before you know it, I became the assistant secretary, 2015, 2017. Then in 2017, they said, oh, Dr. Vivian, be the YDF coordinator into 2019. And so I've had mentors. A lot of these women call you up. A lot of them want to know, how are you doing? What is it like? What are you moving on with the next stage of your life? Now, coming down home, I found out that it was difficult to make a choice of the path I wanted to follow. But then I sit back, I look, okay, when we get to medical women, who do I see? I see this. What paths have they followed? Can I speak to them one-on-one? I just pick up a model. Ma, sorry, I have something to discuss with you. And okay, they don't even give you the shrug or a shoulder to say, I don't really have time. No, nobody does that. They listen to you, they let you express your fears, your doubts. What do you really want? What is your passion? Because the medical field is so wide and it's easy to get lost. Such that 20 years down the lane, you're looking back and you're like, what have I really achieved? What have I done with my life in 20 years? It's not just about picking up the needle or just going to the hospital with your stethoscope. No. The mantle of medical women healing with the love of a mother, it is so dynamic, it is so forefront in the life of a female doctor. If you don't have it, I am telling you, it's just as another male doctor sitting down there. So you need
I hope the male doctors
understand. You understand? You really need to know what do I want to, because the path you choose goes a long way to influence your life, your family, your husband, and even your family of procreation.